Hey everyone, Mark Hespin here, host of On the Mark on News Talk 1070 KHMO and the KHMO app. Follow me on X, on Instagram, on YouTube here. Like and subscribe. Just all social media at Mark Hespin. Simple as that. MarkHespen. Follow the show On the Mark KHMO. It's live every Saturday morning on News Talk 1070 KHMO at 9:05. And you can follow the show on Facebook at just search On the Mark KHMO on Facebook. All right. Final power rankings of the year, post 18 week 18 NFL power rankings, and of course I will react to Matt Eberflus staying as the head coach of the Chicago Bears in 2024, Luke Getsy out as the offensive coordinator. What this move signals to me, what I would do from here on out, and is it the right move or not? We'll get to all of that after we go through the power rankings. So let's start it off. Post Week 18, we are now in the NFL playoffs. Every single team in the power rankings is a playoff team. We have 14 playoff teams. There's only 10 spots, so obviously some are left off the list. Let's start at number 10. I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins at number 10. This is projecting a little bit for me. I knew you can't love the way that Miami ended the year. But when I look at the teams that were getting left off the list, I think to myself, Miami can score. I know they can. Miami will have their full assortment of weapons ready to go for the playoffs. I know that with Miami. And I also know that, listen, people want to talk about the weather being, a factor for Miami and Kansas City. It's going to be so cold that everything's a factor for every single player. There's no home field advantage. Whether you're coming from Miami or in Kansas City, when it's -5, everyone's equally miserable and cold. And I just think that Miami has a legitimate chance to win a first-round game because I know they can score. I just don't know if the Chiefs' offense can score anymore. Miami at 10, I don't feel great about it, but I didn't feel great about any of the teams at the 10 spot, so I'll give Miami a flyer. Number 9, and here on the way up, these are teams I feel good about. I think every one of these teams could absolutely win their game. We'll start with the Houston Texans at number 9. How do you not love what C.J. Stroud did in Week 18? I love that first play call, the bomb, the touchdown, being aggressive. This kid is special. He really is someone who I'm so excited to see have a chance here in the playoffs. What DeMeco Ryans and his staff have done in year one has just been incredible. The sky's the limit for the Houston Texans. Take over the division just like that. Snatch it from Trevor Lawrence. And the AFC South now runs through C.J. Stroud and the Houston Texans. It's a crazy sentence to have said 6 months ago, but it's absolutely true. Here we are in the first wild card matchups of 2024. Rams at number 8. I'm going to put the Rams a little bit above the Texans and the Dolphins. They're borderline. The thing I like about the Rams a ton is obviously Stafford, McVay, the wide receiver core, the tight end Higbee. I also really love Aaron Donald on defense in a one-game wrecking ball type of situation. He can, of course, still wreck a game. So they have a lot of positive things going for them. Things that I'm concerned about with the Rams is obviously their youth. As much as I trust Sean McVay as a head coach, and I trust Matt Stafford and the veterans to be calm and ready to go, I also know it's a lot going into a playoff game. And let's be honest, a lot of this youth, it's still developing, right? Kyron Williams, we like him. We like Puka Nacua, but we haven't seen these players in big moments at all. So we don't know what to expect. I like the Rams a lot. Wouldn't be shocked if they upset Detroit. They're at number 8 this week. Cowboys at number 7. Cowboys hosting the Packers. Listen, all the pressure's on Dallas, which makes me really nervous if I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. Dallas earned the 7th spot in the power rankings because Dallas was the team that showed up in Week 18 and actually said to themselves, you know what, we want to take this division. We want it to be ours. Philadelphia, you're not going to find them on my power rankings. They are an absolute free fall right now. Would it shock me if Philadelphia beats Buccaneers and goes on a little run? No, but they are in free fall. They need, I can't find any positive reason to have Philadelphia on the power rankings. For Dallas, I'm not a big Dallas Cowboys fan. I wouldn't be shocked if the Packers upset the Cowboys, and I certainly don't think the Cowboys are making it to an NFC Championship game. But they earned the right by actually playing in Week 18, going 3-1 down the stretch in a bunch of difficult games, and taking this division for themselves. Browns at number 6. Here we go. Here we're getting into teams now I legitimately think these are championship game teams. The Cleveland Browns, let me paint this scenario for you. If they can survive Houston, it's going to be a tough battle for them at Houston against that dynamic rookie quarterback, a really exciting head coach with really good defensive schemes with some veterans and youth that mix in that Texan defense. And for us to be honest, a Browns team that, yeah, they're playing with house money. Yeah, they're not playing with any pressure, but they are missing some crucial starters. There's a reason why Joe Flacco is starting, and this story is kind of incredible, right? The Browns are not healthy. They don't have, even close to the roster that we looked at opening day for this Cleveland Browns team. But I will say this about Cleveland. If they can get by Houston, the path feels pretty good if you're a Browns fan. You would go most likely, you would go to Baltimore in the divisional round. You absolutely can beat Baltimore. Divisional opponents, especially late in the year, throw the records out. Like, it's a 50-50 game. It really is. And again, the pressure would all be on Baltimore. So if the Browns can get through the Texans, it's going to make for a really interesting divisional game for them and possibly the Ravens. Number 4, the Bills. Listen, the Bills did everything they needed to do down the stretch. I know some of the games were ugly, and I know Josh Allen wasn't Superman down the stretch, but that's, to me, what gives me even more confidence that this Bills team could legitimately end up in a Super Bowl. This is a Bills team that if they run the ball here well against Pittsburgh in the cold and the bad weather, and Josh Allen doesn't turn the ball over, should have no problem getting through Pittsburgh. This is a Bills team that I absolutely think can host Kansas City and score more points than Patrick Mahomes in this Kansas City offense. And then all of a sudden, you're in an AFC championship game against maybe a Baltimore, or who knows, maybe even a Cleveland Browns team, which I think the Bills can match up favorably with them. They're the underdogs a little bit. They're not the Ravens. The Ravens are the clear-cut favorites, but the Bills are the second-best team in the AFC. They earned the right to get that 2 seed, and I'm excited to see what this Bills playoff run looks like. Lions at number 3. I know I'm still high on the Lions. This Lions football team has an emotional test in front of them with Matt Stafford and the Rams coming to town. If they can get through Matt Stafford, I don't know if there's going to be a harder matchup for them. I truly believe getting through Matt Stafford and the Rams will be the hardest matchup for the Lions until they play the Ravens in the Super Bowl. I love the Lions. I'm all in on the Lions. They are, to me, the team of destiny this year. They're the feel-good story, the ultimate feel-good story. First home playoff game in 30 years. High on the Lions. Love that offensive line. Love the weapons. Bummer that Laporta's out, but the injury's not as bad as it seems. It looks like he may even test it to give it a go to see if he can play on Sunday. Love the Lions story. Jared Goff playing good football. I think the Lions absolutely can find their way to a Super Bowl. 49ers, number 2, they're the most talented football team. When you look all the names on paper, they have the most talent. But they also have a coach who has a history of, some issues in big games with Atlanta, 28-3, with that Super Bowl against the Chiefs, giving up a lead as well. I am very excited to see how this Niners team responds to this year's playoff run. The Niners were the team going into the year that felt like they're a playoff team. They feel like a LeBron James NBA team, right? Where it's like, oh, just get them in the playoffs. Now it's time to go to work. Here we are. The stage is set for San Francisco. Who they're going to play in round 2, we don't know yet. They match up favorably against everyone except the Ravens, apparently. And so it's their NFC to lose. The pressure is on. The lights, when they were shining really bright on Christmas Day for Brock Purdy, we know what happened. It was ugly. It was bad. 4 interceptions. The Ravens dominated them. Can they turn that around? I think they can until maybe they play the Lions in the NFC Championship game. And finally, the Ravens. Ravens number 1 team. There's nothing much I need to say at all about the Ravens. They're fantastic. They're terrific. They are able to gang tackle. Their defense. Lamar Jackson is the MVP. They almost beat Pittsburgh with their, lineup of second teamers in when Pittsburgh's trying to get a, desperate win to the playoffs. To me, the only concern I'd have with the Ravens, honestly, is a first, divisional round matchup with the Cleveland Browns. I think they match up great against everyone else not named Cleveland. Don't get me wrong. They still match up well against Cleveland, but divisional opponents, things can get weird. They can get wacky. So there you go. Ravens end the power rankings saga, the series. Here they all are, all the different power rankings. Back week 2 after week 1, Philly was on top. Where were the Baltimore Ravens? They were number 6. Philly, Chiefs, Miami, Niners, Buffalo, Baltimore, Jacksonville. Oh, yeah, Not great. Not great. Jacksonville. Let's not talk about them. All right, let me wrap up this by really quickly talking about the Chicago Bears announced they have let go of Luke Getsy. They are retaining Matt Eberflus. Not only did they let go of Getsy, every single offensive coach is gone. Tight end coach, wide receiver coach, quarterback coach, they're all gone. So I have said repeatedly all year long, I won't know how I feel about what the Bears should do at the quarterback position until I know who's going to be coaching my team in 2024. If I trust the news today, and there's a big press conference coming later today from Hallis Hall, then it appears Matt Eberflus will be the coach in 2024. That means, I'm going to say it now, this is what I believe is the best thing to do for the franchise I love the most. I'm a diehard. I bleed it. I love it. Bear down. I think the smartest move to do if you're keeping Matt Eberflus is to bring back Justin Fields. I am so sick and tired of the lame duck head coach, young rookie quarterback. It has not worked. It has not worked. You have an opportunity here to get a haul for the number one pick. You have an opportunity to build a roster that can compare with a San Francisco, with a Baltimore, with a Miami, loaded rosters. You have an opportunity to do that. If you trade the first pick, you can end up taking 2 first-rounders this year, get players back for it. This roster could be absolutely loaded. I think that's the best course of action. What will the Bears actually do? I don't know. It feels like maybe you're trying to entice a new offensive coordinator to come work with Caleb Williams. Maybe that's what they're going in that direction. Listen, I've said it all year long. If the worst thing that happens to me is I'm starting next year with Caleb Williams as my quarterback, that's not the worst place to be in the world. I personally, at this point in time, if I were in charge, I wouldn't have kept Matt Eberflus. But if I decided to keep Matt Eberflus, I would stick with what they've been preaching, continuity. I would keep Justin Fields, and I would try to build a super team around this kid, knowing that I don't have to pay him at all anything this year. I could pick up the 5th-year option, still chump change in the quarterback world. You can always franchise tag him, or you can work a deal that's a really favorable deal depending on how he performs over the next calendar year. It's a sad day, I think, overall for Bears fans. I think myself and many of us included really were hoping to hear the news of a Mike Vrabel, of a Jim Harbaugh, of a Ben Johnson. It's not going to happen. Eberflus is staying. If it were up to me, I would keep Justin Fields. Tune in every Saturday morning on the Mark News Talk 1070 KHMO, the KHMO app. You can also follow me on all social media channels. Like I said, at Mark Hespen, MarkHespen. Like and subscribe on the YouTube. We'll talk to you later.